Hey guys, taking a little break here, having me a little tea and club soda. Got the double fan thing going on. Storms are coming in, rumbling just to my south. Little storm cells all around me, chase me in the barn here. So I had a project to do. This is kind of stuff you need to do when Mother Nature's throwing lightning bolts at you. Come on in the barn and hopefully we won't get struck in here. I've got all these two-framer material. You know, you take a 2x4, nice clean sprucey looking stud like this, fairly clean. I mean, you got some knots going on here or there, but whatever. Yeah, you take a couple, then make a two-frame nuke out of it. But Steve-O's getting away from the two-frame nukes finally, once and for all. I think I'm done. I'm just done. I'm over it. What happened, guys, the more I played with these two-framers, the more, I don't know, I started developing hemorrhoids. Yeah. Started developing hemorrhoids when I started playing with these two-framers. My butt started hurting, and I just said, you know, I gotta stop playing with these things because my butt hurts. Yeah, and then I saw a video the other day. This guy was so proud of himself. I guess he's in Canada. Several people up there. I don't know, maybe there's something in their drinking water or something. I'm not sure. But he's playing around with these little foam mini nukes. He's a commercial guy, and he's playing around with these mini nukes, foam nukes. That's another thing that gives me hemorrhoids, guys. Looking at those things, I'm going, Mike, what are we thinking, folks? What are we thinking? They've been hanging out with Joe too much or what? I mean, Sheeman. Anyway, I don't want to do none of that stuff. No, come on. Let's keep beekeeping simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay? Good Lord. Life's tough enough, especially in Joe's world. Bought another round of sugar the other day. That was 63 cents a pound. Oh boy, that stuff shouldn't be more than 28 cents a pound, guys. Really, let's get real. Yeah, it takes fuel to run all the equipment and everything to process that stuff. I get it, but just come on. They use all the stalks to boil the stuff down. If you're talking cane sugar, I don't know about beet sugar in the far north, what they're doing with all that shredded meat they pull off of those things. Maybe they're using that shredded outside meat to dry and cook down the syrup to make the sugar. I don't know, but anyway. Yeah, I'm out here. Let's try to drift away from that because I don't want you to get hemorrhoids and hypertension, you know. But here's what Steve-O's doing today. He's converting his two-frame mini nuke material into a 5-frame beefy. That's right, you heard it right. So if you guys ever get if you get bored and you want to build bee equipment, you don't want to buy the 2x8 material, which ends up to be in about 7 1/4. And that's kind of getting a little tight on that 5-frame, but it'll work. It works. Okay. It works. But the Steve-O program on the 5-frame beefy hives, utilizing 2x4s, okay, you can get away with this. And here's what you do. You set your table saw, your homemade table saw, up, and you start burning out these puppies right here. Now to keep it so it's not so thin, it's kind of a beefy material. Beefy beehive, you know, you want beefy stuff, right? This is a 3/4 piece. So instead of what you have here, bada bing, is 3.5, that's 7. Well, with the 2x8, you get 7 1/4. I said, why not go a quarter more? Bada bing. That gives you a smidge more, okay? Just gives you a smidge more here for this program. All right? Bada bing, right there. Now, to process these, we glue them up with Bondtite 3, which is a waterproof. But you need to scar them. You need to scarify these glue joints. So what you do is you come over here to your vise. Come over here to your vise and you raise this up about to here. Lock it in your vise and get you one of these little whippy-doo saws, little Chinese whippy-doo saws down at Harbor Freight. I think Lowe's carries these too, but I'm not sure. And it's got some gnarly teeth on there, as you can see, pretty gnarly teeth. And you just scar it. Come down here and scar it. You see those lines I put in there? Don't take but about 3 or 4 hits. All right, now you've got 2 surfaces ready for glue up on them. So yeah, what I do is I start here and run up right here, right at the top, and I run down a bead. Don't need to be big, because this squeezes out, because I'm doing both sides. I just bead, flip them over, smash them together like so, but bring them over the edge of the table. Bring your ends up, grab you a cheapo Harbor Freight slider clamp, and just one clamp dead center. Set this aside and then take your hammer and tap, make sure that you're nice and flush. Also take your hammer while you're in the clamp and tap it to make sure that you're running true here. Let this set for 24 hours. Come back, put this piece in your vise and scar it. Scar this piece. Scar this side or that side, whatever. You're gonna have to scar. You're gonna have to scar that side because obviously you got to make your you know, your frame rest line up. So you glue it. You glue it and you get it up there where you want it, nice and pretty, like in your vise, and have it standing up in your vise. And grab your brad nailer and go ping, 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 about 4 hits in there. And then have a bucket here with a wet rag. As you glue these up, take your wet terry towel and wipe the glue off both sides and off your bench. At each application, you're going to get squeeze out on this, your bench. Wipe that off. Get ready for your next one. So that's my deal on rainy day project. Look at there, she's just starting to come down just now. Yep, the rainy season is starting. Hurricane season is here too. So get ready for those giggles. Yeah. Yeah, well, I got you with this little garage rainy day project. I called Matthew and told Matthew what was going on with the queens and all. He said, yeah, he said, there ain't no need to let them queens out. He said, no, I don't do it. He said, I've had people call me 8 days down the road and the queens still aren't out yet. He said, I tell them leave them in there. I said, is she alive and crawling around? Yes. If she's dead, he said, they've decided they're not gonna feed her. They don't want her, and that happens. You can lose some. You can lose a $30 queen, guys. It can happen. But he said, leave them in there. So we talk strategies. He runs, Matthew, I love the way he operates. He's running about 400 colonies. One-man show, basically. I think he gathers up a little help, but I told him I'd pitch in too. You know, he can pay me off in queens, whatever he wants to do. I work cheap anyway. So pretty much the way he rolls, I like the way the guy rolls. Okay, he runs all 10 frame equipment. He runs all deeps. He runs about 120 to 130 queen capsules. And this is kind of cool because he's not a nuke maker like I am. See, I'm doing the nuke thing, right? It's a little different ball game, but this is something you hobby guys can do what I do. Make you a few nukes, keep yourself busy. Keep yourself busy in the shop, turning out your own cheap equipment, stuff like this. But once you get commercial, you got to think in volumes and large amounts, because he's cranking out roughly 300 queens. He does honey too. Now, the queen is another thing. So once you become a commercial guy, you're pretty much hitting it every day, just like a dairy farmer. You're out there hitting it every day with some sort of a project. Anyway. What he does, and I like the way he does this, he'll go in when he's ready to make splits, all right? Say he's got that 10 frame bottom chamber there. He's running pretty much singles. He's got a ton of excluders too. What he does is takes, when he's ready for a split, if he's working on a honey crop, say right after a honey crop, you know, those things are jam full of bees, right? They are topped out. You've got your honey crop, now you want to make more bees. He takes another box, another deep box, he goes there, he'll have 10 frames, say, in that box that he's taken there. Drawn comb, foundation, whatever. He takes that, has harvested his honey, he takes that, I think he leaves some partial there, maybe they're half a super or something, so they got some for the top. But what he does, he moves up, he goes down, and he splits that brood in the top and the bottom. He runs it up. He puts it up there. He makes sure all the bees are down. He shakes the bees down to the bottom. He gets the bees down. I don't know if he's gassing the bees to the bottom or not. He may be doing what I do, and I forgot to ask him if he goes the bees down. Honey bandit, take honey bandit. But what he does, he splits the colony up with food and brood, right? Top and bottom equally. Not looking for queens, top and bottom. Then he pushes the bees down. He must be doing honey robber or something, pushing them bees down. He slips an excluder in, okay? He drops a lid on. He moves to the next box. You do this like, I mean, you're doing this like fast, guys. That's the only way you're gonna make money. You're moving fast, you're moving bees, you're doing a methodical thing. You're getting them bees down, you're adjusting the resources top and bottom, right? So you got equal amounts, you got equal brood and honey and stores and all, eat top and bottom. You push them down, everybody downstairs. You slide the excluder in, you drop a lid on, you go to the next box. He comes back, he does this sometimes just before, in midday, and then just before dark, he may peel off. He'll have extra pallets, clip pallets, because he's moving this stuff with a forklift, okay? Then he goes in, he'll snatch them boxes off the top, which is queenless, because you pushed everything down, and then the bees equalize, come up through that excluder and equalize and cover all of that brood upstairs, see? So now you got an equal split. He snatches them off, puts them on a clip pallet, and gets them on his truck. All those bees go out of that yard, and he puts like 64 hives to the yard. So he has all these different yards with 300 to 400 colonies. Them bees go to another site. Either that same day or the next day, he comes in and installs a queen cell. He puts a queen cell in there, or or more than likely a mated queen, because he keeps these, he corresponds to this whole splitting operation with mated queens. So when he goes into those three-way castles, those are mating castles. You got a hole going on one side, one on the other, and one out the end. He'll take and go and harvest all of those when he sees a laying queen in them three-way splits. And that's the other thing. Instead of fooling around with these two-framers, right, with very little resources, he's got three frames in those castles. So now he has more flexibility in there. He can add another frame, right? Then he can put another cell in there and go bye-bye. See, in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, which is probably 4 weeks, he can go and harvest another mated queen out of there. If one fails, no biggie. You can load that, put a mark on the top, and reload that with a three-way deal later down the road with resources. So you can pump that cell builder, that finisher mating nuke back off. So he's stealing queens, mated queens, and putting in a cell all at the same time. So this process is pretty cool the way he does it. I like the way the guy rolls, I really do. So now he can take that mated queen that he stole out of that castle, go to the yard that he just transported 60-some colonies, 64 colonies in there on clip pallets. He offloads it with a donkey. That's a 3-wheel rig. Unloads that, goes down through there, pushing in cages, pushing in queen cages. He does not use, that's the other thing, he doesn't use tenants in the cage. When he's got these bees, he's stealing them out of the queen bank. He banks them. He'll bank them for a day or two while he's doing field work. So the bank is taking care of and feeding all these queens. Lots of queens. When he's transporting these to the field, this is the other beauty of the JZBC cages, because he takes those battery boxes, you got 20 of them in there. He loads up 20 mated queens. He'll go in a colony, which he's got lots. He'll grab a whole frame of nurse bees and shake into that box. He smears candy on the inside of that box. The queen cages are already loaded with candy. So they're sticking upward, like downward into the sockets like this. You got all these bees, so she can come down and taste that candy too if she wants, but these bees, nurse bees, are in there. And he'll put a little sponge usually in there with water or whatever, if it's really hot. So the bees got water too, those nurse bees, and they'll keep all those queens happy while you're transporting them to the field. So when you guys finally get into the mode, you younger fellas, this is something an old fart like me is not going to do, but I can do this sort of stuff here, see? You have got to be in pretty good shape now, I'm telling you. You got to be in pretty good shape. You can't be out chasing women all night and hitting all these titty bars and whatnot and dance halls. It ain't going to work for you, okay? So get you a nice Miss Daisy like Matthew's got and like Steve-O's got, that can hold down the home front, and then you can go out and work the farm and get this stuff done, because that's what it's going to take. But you can turn this thing into a profitable thing and make a living at it. You're not going to get rich at it, but you're going to make a decent living at it. And it's something that you'll be your own boss and you can enjoy it, you know. And then get on a carnivore diet also. I cannot tell you how much and how good I feel on a carnivore diet. if somebody would have told me about carnivore diet 10 years ago, I would say, are you flipping nuts? Have you lost your mind? And then you got the big pharma doctors, which a lot of them are far left. The false information I'm getting from these people is ridiculous. Now, there's a lot of good ones out there, but the whole thing from the top is to treat people, not fix people. And the only way you're going to fix people, I'm talking everything, cancer, skin issues, the whole list of health issues is from the poison you've been fed and eating your entire life. No one is coming clean on this today. Go out there and watch Anthony Chafee, Dr. Ken Berry, Sarah Salvador. There's a bunch of them out there. They will shoot you the straight skinny on how the human body functions. Mental clarity will come to you on a carnivore diet. I was always in a fog, eating crap food, and I got a doctor right now that's telling me, oh, you can't cut out sugar, the human body runs on sugar. And I told him, this human body don't. He didn't know what to say, guys. You got to have it. Oh, the other thing they push too is, fiber. There's nothing in fiber that's worth it's not worth any. It's a waste of friggin' time. In this standard American diet, you're going to get bound up eating grains, pizza, bread, drinking beer, drinking wine, drinking whiskey. It's all nonsense. Start eating a carnivore diet. What is that? It's bacon and eggs in the morning, bacon and sausage. Forget the toast. If you want some sliced tomatoes, have some sliced tomatoes with salt and pepper on it on the side. Don't eat toast. It's garbage. And now I understand they're putting sawdust in the flour. They're putting sawdust in the cheese. It's called cellulose. Cellulose is sawdust, folks. Are you flipping kidding me? They started this back in the 1700s, putting sawdust in bread to stretch it because they were short of wheat, whatever. Oh, and it makes the wheat makes the bread a little tougher. Well, yeah, okay. Is that all part of the fiber program? I am not a gorilla and I'm not a panda bear. Both of those animals can eat bamboo of all things. My guts won't take bamboo. Trust me, no, we're not designed for bamboo. We evolved millions of years ago to be carnivores. But in the last umpteen hundred years, they said, oh, we can't be eating all this meat. Can't be eating this meat. Oh, no, no. The pioneers, when they first hit this country, like my great-grandmother, they came in here and the government gave them all 100 acres. Gave them all 100-acre homesteads. Yeah. It was just raw wilderness. They had to go in there. I asked Grandma. I didn't ask great-grandma. She'd passed away when I was in my teens. But my grandmother, I said, how in the world did they clear that land? She said, well, the boys, they had the oxen, and then they had dynamite, and they blew them. I said, how do you get the stumps out? Well, she said they cut the trees, and then they dragged the trees over, and then with the ox, and then she said there was a team, a huge team that would go around from farm to farm, and they would actually camp out on your friggin' property. And of course the women have to feed all this tribe, probably lots of bread, you know, sacks of flour, bread. And they set up a sawmill. They would set up a sawmill, steam power. Set up a steam powered sawmill and saw all those timbers and make those huge timber frame barns. Now Granny's house was all stone. They'd go out there once they cleared and blew out all the stumps and start clearing pastures, 100 acres mind you, and bringing in all the wood. Back in the day everything was wood fired. Your Granny cooked on wood for a cajillion years in that kitchen. Big old cast iron wood stove. Made the bread, cooked the bread, all this stuff in there. And they couldn't kill any beef because they would get, I guess, a stillborn calf, they'd carve it up, eat it. They went and slaughtered all the deer in the area. They didn't have hardly any deer in back in the day. They slaughtered all the deer hardly. And they didn't start coming back until the 60s. And they were even lean times in the 50s there. But anyway, yeah, it's amazing they made it as far as they did. They would eat potatoes and whatever, but their health wasn't that good. And the only way you're going to keep a strong body and a strong mind is on a carnivore diet. And don't let them tell you for a second, and they will try to tell you that fatty meat will plug up your heart. That is all BS. All of it's BS. It's gluten, sugar that clogs arteries, not fatty meat. I drifted off topic there from my beefy beehive 2x4 deal. But when you get older like me, you drift off on stuff like topics like that because you stroll down memory lane, you know. Had two more people. I found out my old boss just called me yesterday. Old Frank died. Of course, he was only 93. He weighed 600 and some pounds at one time. And he went basically no carbs at all, and went right down to normal weight. He always used to keep his bib overhauls, the only thing he could get into. They were monstrous guys. They were like 4 foot across. He must have had them specially made, and about needed a hoist to get him up in the bulldozer. When I first met him, I was running a gas station on wheels, and I would go around and service heavy equipment. Drag, back in the day, it was bulldozers, drag lines, front end loaders, bulldozers, all that. Oh, the rain's picking up. Yeah, I would do all that. And I met old Frank way back in the early 70s. And he was a good old boy. I'd pull in there and he'd say, shut her down. First day I met him, shut her down. This big Jim was with me, and we were 2 guys on this truck, service truck. What are we shutting her down for, Frank? He said, yeah, breakfast yet? I said, yeah, well, you're gonna have another one. By then, we'd already been working a couple hours. I said, yeah, I could use another breakfast. He'd haul us down there to the diner, leave the site, we'd go down to the diner and have a big old breakfast. And so yeah, old Frankie finally checked out. He's 93 years old. And then while I'm talking to the boss man, he said, did I tell you my wife died? I said, what? When was that? He said, that was March 24. She died. She was going out to California, out there. Some doctors out there, I guess, were working on her, and it didn't work out. She had cancer 2 years ago, and then it came back on her. and took her out. But that was a surprise. I think she was 2 years older than me. I think she was born 47 anyway. She was a couple of years older than me, but yeah, that was a surprise. I mean, we got a lot of people going. I got old Big Jim. He's about to go any day now, and he's 93. Big old black guy that I've worked with for years and years and years. Anyway, I'm strolling down memory lane again here, but listen to it rain. Love to hear the rain on this tin building here. See, I'm just in here. I'll quit strolling down memory lane. You're probably tired of it. But here's what you can do, guys. You know, with this deal here, I can run a group down through here too. I think I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to make 2 groups. But what I'm going to do is scar this and scar this side tomorrow, and then put that up there, hold it on in my vise, push it down tight, and like I said, brad nail it, and then I can start building my box. I just went today and carved up more pallet wood, got 3 more pallets and butchered them all in. They're ready to go. There's some sides I've already done. This Bondtite 3, guys, is some tough stuff. Now I'm telling you, it's some tough stuff. It'll hold these together really nice. I gotta quit talking and get this stuff glued up. But I thought I'd pass this on to you. If you get, hey, you may know a carpenter, and they throw tons of this stuff away. Tons of this in dumpsters, guys, tons of it. You could talk to your carpenter and say, listen, I need anything 10 inches, those nice pretty studs that you guys use, anything that's longer than 10 inches, let me have it. And you can build a ton of Steve-O beefy beehives. See you again real soon, guys. Keep your titty out of the ringer. See ya.